So in the Wuthering Waves community, there's always been this big debate between male and female characters. Now, this has been a conversation that's been going on ever since the start of the game. I mean, you know, people have been saying, oh, male characters sell more, or oh, female characters sell more, or, you know, Wuthering Waves should do a more 50-50 type of system in terms of how they split up their genders in the kind of games or characters that they make. And well, it seems like this is blown up even further with the announcement of some of these Septimon characters that have been coming out. Now, obviously, the first thing that I actually stumbled across was people actually hating on the new design. If you guys don't know, they actually released some kind of drip marketing for the new characters, as I said, but they released one for an actual male character, and which is quite surprising for Wuthering Waves. I feel like a lot of people weren't expecting that. Obviously, we saw the teasers for Septimon, we're like, oh damn, it's all going to be like female characters. But again, you can see here that we've got this guy called Chiwan, I'm pretty sure that's his name, and I think he looks like an overall pretty decently designed character. Now, I probably won't be pulling on him because, again, I'm not very interested in him, but he has been one of the most liked, I think, ever kind of characters in Wuthering Waves, and or at least out of the ones that have been kind of teased, with him getting 2.5 million views and 93,000 likes. He's been super popular over in China, I think, as well. And essentially, some people in the kind of husbando community are not happy about it, which I thought was kind of funny, because people are saying, mind you, a lot of the hate is coming from inside the house, but yep, let's blame the woman lovers again. Most of us are happy about this, so y'all can be quiet. And obviously, people are saying, I like how people would say that Chiwan's design is boring or bland, but when I say something about a female character design being a jumbled up mess with no creativity put into it, I get nailed to a cross, which again, I just don't think that is true. I think they're kind of fabricating a kind of, I guess, conflict there, because I feel like a lot of people are very happy with the design of Chiwan and are happy to see a lot more, well, I say a lot more male characters, some male characters come into the game, and it actually seems like some of the actual like male character lovers or likers or whatever you want to call them are actually the ones that don't like the design, not the people that like the female designs. They're saying, yo, I just saw the new male character in Wuwa and his design is so boring. Like, how did we get from Brand's design to Chiwan's? That's, I mean, as you can see here, I'm pretty sure it's obvious. You know, they're saying they like Brand's design and they're saying it's much better than Chiwan's. You know, that is obviously the case of a, you know, husbando enjoyer actually going ahead and hating on Chiwan. And they also share some other stuff as well, saying, for real, I'm not falling for it, to be honest. I don't even like the new male character. I'm just waiting for Scar, and if things don't change, then I'll probably continue not touching this game. Saying, I'm honestly waiting for Scar too, but I feel like they need to at least kind of match the ratio between men and women in this game before I can come back. Now, again, I feel like these are even more people who like husbandos, and they're saying that, hey, you know, Scar is a good character that they want to pull for, but not Chiwan. And I think that blaming it a lot on the female character, like, enjoys just, it's just dumb. I mean, you know, it's very obvious here that it's a mix of both, and, you know, you can see here as well, this is saying, and male character is covered from head to toe as expected, design is boring and uninspiring, yeah. And looks like he is neither from rinascita nor New Federation, so plot relevance is questionable too. Seems like I've burned out already, not even happy about male characters anymore. So again, they're not very happy about the fact that he's covered from head to toe either, which again, I think is kind of funny. They're saying, I don't know, you'd think that the husbando enjoyers would be happy, but it seems like they're the most upset. I think his design is great. Wuwa husbando subreddit is miserable right now, impossible to please them. They say, I generally thought that they would be, they're just complaining and I'm learning about that. People saying, but they'd still be upset if the guys are not covered up. I've seen people who are upset about tomorrow's Catch 22 banner from lads. Heck, showing no skin upsets them just as much as showing skin. Also, the guys are loner. God forbid people dress to not draw attention. So at the end of the day, they just want to be upset and they're looking for any other reason, which I think is definitely true. I think that a lot of these people just want to find some problem with Wuthering Waves or some problem with the characters just so they can complain about things because they are just natural complainers, which I think is so dumb. And I think that, you know, if you're doing that, I mean, there's probably better things to do, you know, than just go onto Twitter and just hate on these characters just because you want something to hate. Because I think the character is pretty decent. I mean, you can dislike, you can dislike the character, you can dislike their features, but I don't think it's the end of the world and saying like, oh, you know, I hate it, because at the end of the day, you know, I think Chiwan's banner and whether people pull on him in the first place is going to massively decide whether Kuro Games continues to add male characters into the game, and I think that'll be the case for a lot of male characters moving forwards as well, at least for the first couple of male characters that are coming to the game, because again, you know, it's going to give them a metric of, will people actually pull for this, or should we just not bother? Because, you know, I think Brand's banner did pretty decently. I mean, he sold very, very well, at least above, you know, half, you know, in the middle between a lot of the other characters. So again, I feel like he sold pretty decently, so I think that was a, you know, kind of spur on for Wuthering Waves and Kuro Games to continue and to add a character like Chiwan into the game. But like, again, as I said, it's up to the people to decide on whether they want to support male characters coming into the game. And, well, it seems like the husbando enjoys themselves are the ones that could actually sabotage that. And in the end, they're just kind of sabotaging their own fun, you know? I know a lot of people are advocating for more male characters in the game, which would be great. But I feel like, you know, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot right now by saying, oh, well, we don't want this male character. Oh, we don't want this one. Oh, we don't want that one. It's just like, brother, like, make up your mind. Like, be happy with what you've got, and the fact that they are adding male characters to the game. I can totally understand that they don't like the design or whatever, but you know, there's no reason to go fully hatred on it or like making multiple posts about it over on Twitter just because you don't like the design. I mean, lots of people do like the design. I think there's many people that like Chiwan's design out there, but just because you like it doesn't mean that, yeah, you don't like it, sorry, doesn't mean that you have to go hating on it in everybody's like comment sections and stuff like that, which obviously gives it a bad rep. And maybe Kuro in the future would just be like, nah, you know, we don't want this. And I feel like, yeah, there's characters like Scar and stuff that could be coming out in the future, obviously due to the fact of Scar being hinted in the trailer that we saw in the Septimon stuff, which again is very exciting, and maybe he will be coming out as a character. But I did kind of find this kind of situation in general to be funny, because, you know, they're just being so picky whenever it comes to designs, and, you know, you can't be picky, especially whenever male characters are a rarity in this game. And, you know, you can either support it, not support it, but at the end of the day, I think it is important to highlight the fact that Kuro Games are trying to add more kind of diverse characters to the game, and, you know, if this gets continued to be supported, then they will continue adding them. And I think that, you know, the support on the post in terms of popularity and getting this many likes and views is definitely going to be a massive factor into adding more male characters in the future. And hopefully they do, because I think it would be a positive thing, but it definitely does not give them a good luck whenever the husbando enjoyers are going pretty crazy over online, because people just, you know, straight up stop liking it and it makes them turn against them, you know? That's why we see all of these kind of different fights and stuff online, is due to the fact of, you know, these husbando enjoyers kind of throwing their toys out the pram whenever it comes to, like, you know, stuff like this, saying that, oh, I don't like this design, I like, this isn't the one that I wanted. It's just like, okay, but like, you know, it's definitely not going to help them in terms of being liked and people actually listening to the fact that they want more husbandos in the game, or more just male characters in the game, because again, it's a big problem. But no one's going to take you seriously if you're just going to be acting like a child every time you get something that you don't slightly like, you know? Because there's a lot of male characters already in the game in terms of permanent kind of characters, like, for example, Ling Yang, who, you know, me personally, as, you know, looking at characters, I don't like Ling Yang as a character or the character design, but I like someone like Kachara because I think he's cool, you know? There's a very, you know, there's a lot of varying characters here, and I think this is another one of those cases where you got Chiwan, but maybe in the future we have a Scar, we have someone else who is much more appealing. I mean, you know, you've always got to have the kind of lower characters, or I say lower characters, like the characters that people like a little bit less, and that's the same for female characters as well, and we see that happening all of the time, you know, people being like, oh no, I'll skip that character, I'll skip that character, because again, you know, that's just how gacha games work. But yeah, this was just an interesting topic that I wanted to cover because I saw this coming up on Twitter and a lot of people talking about it. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, I'm really interested into thinking what you think about Chiwan's design, and whether, you know, they should keep adding more male characters like this into the game, or if the design is so terrible that they should just stop altogether. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code CASA, get 10% off. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So, see ya.